Hey everybody, my name is Lindsay Ray with MEREM Healthcare Solutions. In case you missed Tip Tuesday, we're now doing Think About It Thursdays, which we'll be talking about various topics. But take a moment right now and share this video so we can get more people on it to answer any questions that you have. So we'll be doing these videos every 3 weeks on different topics every time. So if you think of something that you want to hear us talk about, just let us know and we'll put it on our list. So well, before we get started, there's some great things happening here at MEREM, and some of those are, one is it's our 10-year anniversary this week, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, we have a new website, www.meremhealth.com, and we have a free revenue cycle audit, so check that out on our website as well. We've also got service expansions with consulting and management, so go check those out on our website as well. Let's see. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is credentialing. Matt is Matt Waldrep. He is over credentialing here at MEREM, and he's going to answer any questions that you have. So, okay, so let's see if we got anybody. Sorry, real quick. See if we got anybody joined. Let's see, this isn't coming up. Hold on one second. Okay, well, we'll get started. Okay, so we did have some questions submitted before the video. So number one was, how long will it take a new provider to get enrolled with insurances and facilities?
Yeah, so that's a question that I get asked by a lot of our clients, and it's really different per insurance company and per facility. So we'll start with insurance companies. It can be anywhere from 90 to 120 days to get a provider enrolled. And there are a couple of different steps to make that happen. First is kind of a data gathering time period. So when you sign on a new provider, there's a list of documentation that we're going to need to acquire that's going to need to go to those insurances and facilities to get your provider enrolled. So that takes some time. And then also getting that into the insurance companies takes time, making sure they verify they receive those documents takes time. But then they also go through a process of actually verifying those credentials. And so that takes anywhere from, like I said, 90 to 120 days. So that's with most commercial insurance carriers. Facilities work a little bit differently. They have MEC meetings, committee meetings for applications to go through their process. And those happen sometimes monthly, sometimes quarterly. So it really just depends on the facility. They can take a while, they can go really quickly.
Just depends.
Yeah, it all depends.
Okay, well, we got another question just now. It's, what is CAQH and do I need to have one?
Yeah, so CAQH is a national database for providers, and it's really just a way for providers to have all of their information, demographics, all of their licenses, anything that might be used in credentialing in one place. It's a really important tool to have, not only for centralizing your demographics, but a lot of insurance companies will actually use CAQH in their application process. So if you've got a CAQH profile and all of your data and information is accurate and up to date in that profile, which is a service that we offer, it'll make that process quicker to get enrolled with those particular insurances that do utilize CAQH.
Yeah, and we'll keep it up to date for you as well. So, okay, well, another question is, and a lot of new providers have this, and it's, what do you need to get enrolled? So if you're starting a new practice and you don't know where to start, like, what do you need to get enrolled with insurance companies?
Yeah, so there's a set list of documentation that's must-haves to get enrolled that you're going to have. So that's an NPI number, which we can talk about that in a minute, a tax ID number, a malpractice insurance certificate, a state medical license, and then really an up-to-date CV. There's a lot of information that typically comes on CVs that those insurance companies are going to ask for in the application process, but you really can't even start the application process without some of those documents, and so it's not even worth spinning your wheels to try to get it without it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, anybody who's joined, if y'all will please share so we can get questions out, or anybody has any questions.
Which payers do you recommend being contracted with?
Yeah, so that's going to differ based on your service area. So there are a list of major commercial payers, so like Cigna, Aetna, Viva, of course Medicaid and Medicare, UHC. There's a whole list of those big commercial payers that you can get credentialed with anywhere. And so you're going to want to track those down, but then based on your service area, you might have smaller payers that you're going to want to get credentialed with as well. What I would recommend is, as you get started, go ahead and get with the major payers, but then kind of take note of, as your customers come in, your patients come in, if they have these smaller insurance payers, if you see a large portion with specific ones, that might tell you it's worth your time to go ahead and get credentialed with those smaller payers, but it's really going to depend on your service area.
Right, exactly. Okay, so what if a new provider starts, what happens after they're fully credentialed? What do we do for them?
Yeah, so after being fully credentialed, with facilities, there's reappointments, and again, those are different per facility. So some reappoint every year, some reappoint every 2 years, and that's another application process you're going to have to go through. It's not usually quite as intensive as initial applications, but it's still a process that we can handle for you. It's an application to fill out, it's credentials to get sent over, documentation to provide. And then with insurance companies, it also varies per insurance company, but they usually have some sort of revalidation, and those run on different cycles. But
Some are 3 years, some are 5 years, it just depends.
But even if they don't have like a major revalidation, you've got to keep your credentials up to date with those providers. So your medical license, your DEA, any kind of state CDS license, malpractice, those all have to be kept up to date, because they'll bug you if they're not. And they'll kick you out of the network. So we want to make sure that those are up to date, and that's the service that we provide for re-credentialing.
Exactly. Okay, well, let's see. So some other questions that were submitted are applications. How do you complete them, and are they all the same?
Yeah, so all applications are not created equal. Some of them are giant stacks of paper, some of them are a couple of pages, some of them are paper, some of them are online and digital. So we fill out all kinds of applications. We actually have a new software that we're utilizing that once it's fully up and running, it's going to allow us to auto-complete paper applications, so we can load them into our system for you. And once we have all the provider's information, it'll basically spit out a completed application in a matter of seconds. So that's something that we can utilize for our clients. And then, of course, it doesn't work for online applications. We have to actually go into their websites and do all of that. But we keep up with all the login information for that for you, and when it's time to do those online applications, we go in and handle all that as well. But yeah, they're certainly not all the same. Some are much more complex than others, but we've seen all kinds. So.
All kinds, yeah. Okay, well, do we have any other submissions?
Do providers have to be contracted for DME?
Yes, they do.
It's a separate contract for DME, so not with all insurance carriers. Some insurance carriers don't require you to have a separate contract, but with Medicare they do. With Medicare, it's a separate enrollment, and usually there is a fee for that. So it's usually between $300 and $500, but we do that as well. So if you're looking to get credentialed with DME, we can help with that.
I actually was working on a DME enrollment for one of our clients about 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so another one that we had submitted was, how do you handle, and this has happened before, how do you handle when an insurance panel is closed?
Yeah, so that'll happen from time to time. We actually have a couple of providers who are unable to be credentialed with a particular payer right now due to the panel being closed for their specialties. Some insurance companies will allow you to sign up to be notified when those panels are reopened. Some you just have to call back, and so that's another benefit of having credentialing services with us, is we'll take on the responsibility to check periodically that those panels, when they open and when they get open, we'll go ahead and proceed with the application for you.
So we'll do the work. We'll make sure that we're following up, and when that panel does open back up, that you're first on the list.
Yeah.
Okay, another one that we had submitted was, what do you do when a provider, well, yeah, we did that one already. Okay, did we do all of these? Let's see.
I think we referenced what an NPI was, but we didn't talk about what an NPI is, and
Yeah.
that's pretty simple. So everybody has a social security number that identifies them to the government. Providers and service locations all have an NPI. It's like the social security number of the medical world. So you can go to what's the website?
NPPES.
Yeah, NPPES, and register for one of those. And that's, again, one of those things that every provider is going to need to be able to be credentialed with both facilities and insurance payers.
Awesome. Okay, well, do we have any other questions submitted?
What if a new provider starts before being fully credentialed?
So that's difficult. You're really going to have to figure out we will figure out for you which payers will
Back pay.
for you. And so that's something that we can do, but they can go ahead and see some insurance patients because those companies will backdate the charges, but a lot of them won't. So you have to
You kind of have to maneuver it that way. You really don't want to start before you're credentialed, but if you have to, then you can see patients, for instance, Medicare, they'll backdate and pay you to their application date. So if you have 2 or 3 insurances that are going to back pay, you might just want to adjust your schedule to just see those patients during that time frame. So it might be just a little bit of a check and balance, or see the patients you can for a little bit, but that's kind of how we work through it.
Yeah, but it would certainly behoove you to try to get out in front if you know that you're going to hire a provider and you know that you're going to hire them for sure. Go ahead and try to get all their information and get the processes started because, like I said, it can take 90 to 120 days. Credentialing doesn't move quickly.
Right, and especially if you're a new practice, it does take a little bit longer because the group has to get credentialed and then the individual. Now, if you're already an established practice and you're bringing on a new provider, that's a little bit quicker than if you're starting a brand new practice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I'll close and thank everyone. Thank you, Matt, for being here, and thank you all who joined. Join us back, and remember, we do these every 3 weeks, and we'll be doing a lot of different topics. Our next one will be on June 28th, and please share this video and help us get some more followers. Check out our Facebook for the next topic. We'll be announcing that soon. And then check out our website. Like I said, it's our 10-year anniversary, and we have new services and a lot of great things to offer. And thank you, Matt, so much.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity to come on and talk about it.
Bye, guys.
See y'all.